How and why things go viral. Professor Jonah Berger, author of the book Contagious, gives us 6 principles he refers to as steps, which I'm going to explain to you in this video. These steps examine what makes things go viral and why things catch on. And it is important you know these tips and read the book if you want to learn how to make your idea, business, or product sell itself or go viral. And just for the record, Jonah Berger graduated from Stanford with a PhD and now teaches at Wharton School. And this guy is basically your guy when it comes to viral marketing. The first idea is social currency, and the idea behind social currency is that people share whatever makes them look or feel cool. In the book Contagious, Jonah gives us a story of a restaurant in Philly called Barclay Prime that serves a $100 cheesesteak. Now, your average cheesesteak is only about $5 to $10. However, Barclay Prime has been very successful at selling theirs for $100. And now I'm sure there's many reasons to why that is, but one of the main reasons is because of social currency, which says that people share whatever makes them feel or look cool. So whatever makes people look or feel cool, they are more likely to share it. Suppose you're in Philly and you went out and you bought a $7 cheesesteak. That's probably not something you're going to want to post and share. However, if it was a $100 cheesesteak, you are more likely to share this experience with everyone to show people that you are really cool still eating expensive desserts. Especially with social media, people can't even enjoy a simple meal without having to share it on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, MySpace, and so on. Professor Berger also gives us another example of a hot dog restaurant. And inside this hot dog restaurant is a secret bar. And to get into the secret bar, you need to go through the secret telephone booth. This bar had business like no other and is usually hard to get in because it gets packed within the first hours of opening. This restaurant never used any advertisement. All their advertisement was through word of mouth. The mere fact that it was a secret bar made people want to join and tell others because they felt cool being part of something secret and exclusive. The next idea is triggers, and the idea behind triggers is how are you reminded of the product? If you guys recall the song Friday by Rebecca Black, that song garnered millions and millions of views till this day. Now, a lot of people, if not everybody, absolutely hated that song. But why did it get more views than a lot of other videos? Well, if you look at the analytics of the views, the song would have a normal number of views throughout the week, but one day out of the week, the views would skyrocket. What day do you think that is? You guessed it, Friday. This video was able to garner a lot of millions of views because it had a really good trigger. Friday, which comes around once a week. Now imagine if the song was called Leap Year or something like that, and it still had the same horrible lyrics and the same horrible singer, but just a different trigger phrase like leap year. It wouldn't go as viral because leap year doesn't come around very few times, as opposed to Friday every week. Another example was a campaign strategy Kit Kat used when their sales were going down. In all their advertisements, Kit Kat adopted the trigger coffee, and their sales skyrocketed by 33%. They figured to attach their product with coffee because it is something people consume every day. Now, I myself, like most people, would totally prefer Kit Kat and hot chocolate because that tastes much better than Kit Kat and coffee. But that doesn't really matter because people consume coffee more than hot chocolate, therefore coffee is a much better trigger. So again, the idea with triggers is that people need to be reminded of your product or idea, and you can help them by providing a strong trigger like the examples I just mentioned. The next idea is emotions. And the idea with emotions is that when people feel strong emotions, they want to share. A perfect example is the Susan Boyle concert. How it got millions and millions of views because it made people awe and cry. Or sadly, the 2016 presidential debate, which was the top news for many days to come. The strong emotions felt towards Trump made people either share their opinion, whether they're against him or with him. And this is basically how the media plays with your mind and causes you a lot of stress and anxiety. So again, here the idea with emotions is that when people feel strong emotions, they want to share. And just for the record, study shows that the strong emotions that will allow people to share are only anger and awe, but not sad emotions. People do not want to share sad stuff. Moving on to the next point, which is public. The idea with public is that our decisions are affected by what everyone else is doing. A perfect example to illustrate this for you guys is the dilemma Apple had with their logo. Originally, the Apple logo was set to where if you are looking down on your laptop, the logo is facing you, to help those easily know what side of the laptop opens up. However, the Apple logo would be upside down to everyone else. So they had to make a decision if it was more important for the user or for the public image. They went ahead with the decision that the public image was way more important and flipped it so that people can see the logo when you are using the laptop at school, work, or at a cafe. Another example is people's decision making when buying a car. People are more likely to buy a car their family or friend are buying simply because they want to fit in. So the question here with public point is, can people see when others are using our product? The next point Professor Berger gives us is practical value. I believe this is by far the most important step for anyone as well as for this channel, because it asks the question, is your idea or product helpful? And the idea here is anytime you can actually help people and make their life better, they're going to want to share it and help their family and friends as well. For example, if you have a way to make things simple for people and you share it and it actually helps them, they will definitely want to share it with others. This is because they feel a sense of importance and they might even get the same feeling as the person who provided the help. If you realize the videos on YouTube that provide any type of help or assistance, such as my channel and many other channels on the web, gain a lot of growth not only in the short term, but also for many years to come, as long as the content is up. For example, a video about the 2016 presidential debate would do good in that year, but many years, it's not something that people are going to be searching. But keywords such as how to make things go viral or how to build a website will always have a need to search in the short term and in the long term. So again, the question to ask here is your product or idea helpful? And the last idea is stories. Stories ask the question, is your product relevant to a cool part of a story? People share stories. Most people don't talk about the nitty-gritty stuff such as specs and details. They would rather talk about stories. A bad example is those people who streak the field with something written on their chest hoping to promote their point. This is horrible because you can tell the story without having to mention what was written on their shirt. Now, a perfect example for you guys is the blender company called Blendtec. These guys dominated the blender industry for one of many reasons, which is their series called Will It Blend, where they would bring different things such as an iPhone or a tablet and put it into a blender and see if they can blend it into dust. This is apparently something pretty cool and people wanted to share it with others and tell the story, but they cannot tell the story without mentioning the company Blendtec. Blendtec realized their amazing product isn't going to sell itself. Unless they attach it with a really cool story people will talk about and share. Like the blender that shredded the iPhone into dust, as opposed to the blender that had super sharp blades and is the best blender ever. You see, the first one is a story, and not only is it a story, but again, you cannot mention the story without mentioning the blender. So the idea here is find out what makes your product part of a really cool story. So to recap, number one is social currency. People share whatever makes them look or feel cool. Do people look or feel cool when using your product? Number two is triggers. And the idea with triggers is that people need to be reminded of your idea or product, and you can help them by providing a strong trigger. Number three is emotions. And the idea with emotions is that when people feel strong emotions, they want to share. Number four is public. The idea with public is that our decisions are affected by what everyone else is doing. And number five is practical value. And the idea here is anytime you can actually help people and make their life easier or better, they're going to want to share it and help their family and friends as well. And the sixth and final idea is stories. Stories ask the question, is your product a relevant part of a cool story? In conclusion, I just wanted to mention that you don't necessarily need to apply all these steps to make your content, idea, or product go viral. I mean, it can work with just a few, but the idea here is to understand what actually makes your specific niche go viral. Alright everyone, if you enjoyed or benefited from this video, please hit the like button and leave me your comment in the comment section. And if you want psychology videos that teach you the life skills you need, then make sure you subscribe and I'll see you next time.